William Morrow and Harper Audio present Scarface and the Untouchable, Al Capone, Eliot Ness, and the Battle for Chicago, by Allan Collins and A. Schwartz. Read by Stefan Rudnicki, with Allan Collins and A. Schwartz. There is something tragically wrong with a system of justice which can and does make criminals of honest men, and can only convict gangsters and racketeers when they don't pay their income taxes. Raymond Chandler.
Introduction. Untouchable Truth by Allan Collins. On Monday night, April 20th, 1959, the first of a two-part TV presentation called The Untouchables appeared on Westinghouse Desilu Playhouse. I was 11 years old, watching in Muscatine, Iowa, and I was dumbstruck. The next day, all the kids, well, the boys anyway, were talking about this hard-hitting crime show, the fact-based story of federal agent Eliot Ness and his band of incorruptible lawmen taking on the Al Capone gang during Prohibition. I was bowled over by how much it tallied with my obsession, which had started at age 6, with Chester Gould's Dick Tracy, particularly reprints of 1930s and 40s comic strips. When the concluding Untouchables episode aired, finally presenting Al Capone on camera, after the prior week's crafty cliffhanger, I was struck by how much Capone resembled the 30s Tracy villain, Big Boy. I could hardly have imagined that less than 20 years later, I'd be writing the legendary Dick Tracy strip and hearing Chester Gould confirm my suspicions that Detective Tracy had been based on Ness and the Untouchables, a fact still little noted or known. That was the beginning of my interest in true crime in general and Eliot Ness specifically. I immediately read Ness's memoir, The Untouchables, 1957, co-written by sports writer Oscar Fraley, as well as Fraley's follow-up, For Against the Mob, 1961, about Ness's later law enforcement career in Cleveland, Ohio. The Ness-Fraley book has largely been dismissed as a fabrication, but one of our many discoveries while researching this book has been to confirm how surprisingly accurate it was. Fraley built his narrative on a decidedly non-boastful, fairly short memoir by Ness, amplifying it with newspaper and magazine accounts. But the ghostwriter paid no heed to chronology, and events appeared in what struck Fraley as the most effective order. Ness protested to no avail, taken out by a heart attack at 54, before publication of the work that would make him far more famous dead than he'd been alive. Fraley's readable, if creatively rearranged account, led to a backlash among Ness's contemporaries in law enforcement, as well as Chicago journalists, building him, inaccurately, into a glory hound. The enormously successful TV series spawned by the Desilu Playhouse two-parter did Ness's real-life reputation no favors either. Ironically, the original two-part film, released theatrically as The Scarface Mob, was the most accurate presentation on film Eliot Ness and the Untouchables have ever received. Director Phil Carlson was a master at true crime noir, with The Phoenix City Story, 1955, behind him, and Walking Tall, 1973, ahead of him, with its similar glorification of real-life lawman Buford Pusser. Featuring Hollywood star Robert Stack as a grimly charismatic Ness, The Untouchables two-parter boasted a semi-documentary style, roaring 20s nostalgia, and fast, violent action, with 30s media star Walter Winchell's rat-a-tat-tat narration perhaps the masterstroke. A much fictionalized Chicago mob was amplified by similarly fanciful episodes with Ness taking on such real-life criminals as Vincent Mad Dog Call, Dutch Schultz, Waxy Gordon, Legs Diamond, and Lucky Luciano. J. Edgar Hoover, never a fan of the real Ness, objected so much to the Untouchables' latter-day fame that he insisted the producers credit the FBI's work at the end of the Ma Barker episode. Capone himself, with Brandt reappearing, was again featured only in the two-part episode, The Big Train. The only other two-part The Untouchables episode, The Unhired Assassin, was loosely based on the assassin
Sample complete. Ready to continue?